We were looking back at across the game as a whole and just the incredibly large amount of incremental upgrades that we've done ever since launch. And we're looking at all the cool stuff that we've got coming out very soon here. And we're like, man, this seems like if we were like a box product, this would be it. This would be the expansion pack, right? So that's why we kind of went with Heroes 2.0 to kind of express to our players, like, this is to acknowledge all the awesome stuff that we've done and the awesome stuff that's coming out right now.
Since we originally launched, there's been a ton of stuff that's changed in the game. And so once we looked at all the improvements we'd made, and then we also looked at a bunch of changes that were coming with this release. And with this release, we'd kind of packaged up a bunch of things that naturally just work together with the improvements to the progression system, the reward system, and all these new item types. And once we kind of looked at all those things together, we realized that this really was kind of a new chapter for Heroes, and that the name made sense at that point. For the new items that we're adding to the game, we really wanted to just make new ways for players to express themselves in the game. There were already some things that existed that some players were showing off, like they would use the Hearthstone hotkey, which is known as B-stepping, to kind of show off to other players when they do something really cool. And so we started talking about things like sprays, like, do we want to add those into the game? And once we really got down to the point of saying, look, we want to have a new reward mechanism for the progression system, it made sense for us to also start adding in a lot of these other item types. And each one just naturally came as a result of that. Things for players to express themselves in the game or outside of the game, like with emojis from a social perspective, or just ways to kind of put their mark on the battlefield.
Loot chests kind of gave us this way to bring it all together and create this awesome player experience that brought it all in.
Simply by nature of the fact that heroes can now drop in a loot chest, you'll have a chance of getting heroes simply by playing the game, in addition to gold that you already had.
We'd started looking at a progression system. We knew we wanted to update it. We knew being stuck at account level 40 was so boring. Everyone's 40, who cares, right? Oh, great, I got my hero to level 10, sweet. Wow, it takes 13 hours to get to level 11. That's totally not fun, right? And so we've kind of known for a while these have been kind of stagnating systems in our game, and we wanted to do a sweeping pass on that.
One thing we're going to do is when these players first log in, when we've released Heroes 2.0, depending on how much time you've spent with the game previously, what level you've achieved previously, we're actually going to give you as a reward and as a thank you for all the time you put into the game, a bunch of loot chests. And that's actually going to scale based on how far you had previously gotten. And so we'll also include some loot chests of different rarities as well. So in addition to some of the common ones, we're going to throw in some rare and epic loot chests as well. And so that's just a way to really kind of acknowledge and thank players for the effort that they put into the game previously. An example being that the new progression system, that XP curve, it will translate over. And so while we've lowered the amount of XP it takes to hit a level at the later levels, if you've earned that XP in the current system, you'll actually be at that higher level. We're going to translate you over and actually move you to that higher level.
It is totally not the same game. You know, we just updated the whole interface last patch. I don't know if you guys are playing. You've seen we got party frames in there. We got the new kill feed, right? Wow, we have done so much. What do we call this moment? How do we express to our fans that this game has evolved and taken the next step? And that's where kind of the 2.0 moniker came about.
I would say that Heroes 2.0 really is a reflection upon how much this game has changed and all these new things that are coming with the game as well, these new improvements. We have learned a ton about how to make heroes and talents, and as a result, we've actually reworked a ton of heroes in the game. We have added new battlegrounds that have added new experiences to the game. We've added new in-game mechanics like quests, where we kept on really exploring ways to make individual goals that you could achieve, make them fun and exciting, but also give you personal power spikes as a result. So I would say if you've tried the game back when we originally launched 2015, that this game has actually changed dramatically. And that's really why we're going with this name Heroes 2.0, not just to reflect all the massive changes that are coming with the game, but also to look back at everything that's changed since then. Just recently, we've also made significant changes to the in-game UI to highlight new aspects of your team and kind of where they're at, what their levels are, what their heroics they've selected, things like that. So I think that if you've tried the game in the past, absolutely you should give the game another attempt, because this Heroes is the best Heroes has ever been.